Hello, scholars, and welcome back to music. Our perfect music attendance raffle winners in every class are Cadence Dye in UIC, Tyrell Logan in GT, and Lucero Gonzalez in Xavier. Congratulations, you three. If you have not gotten celebrated yet, don't worry, you will get to pick the song next week during live class. Our GLA Enrichment Scholars of the Month for the new month are Kimberly Ramirez Negretti in UC, she's a first grader, and Alexandria Frazier in Stanford is the Upper Academy Scholar of the Month. Our objective for class today is understand the research project guidelines and review topic choices. Okay, scholars, to start us off, we are going to go to your Music Google Classroom. Click on Classwork, and we are starting today in Materials. You should have already gone here to find the video. So you should see the video, you should see Fact Monster, and then you should see a research project guideline sheet. We are starting a new research project next week. So today is all about figuring out what you want to research. So a quick description is you are choosing one musical artist to research and present on to your class. I have a list of about 58 artists that you can choose from, but there also is an other category where if you can think of somebody who is not listed that you think you can put a school appropriate presentation together about, then you can also put that in the other box. All right, you will have 2 weeks or 4 classes, music classes, to complete your research, create a visual, and prepare a speech for your presentation. Presentations will start on Monday, January 25th, if you're in a Monday-Wednesday class, or Tuesday, January 26th, if you're in a Tuesday-Thursday class. There will not be an order of presentations, it'll be random, so you must be prepared to present on Monday or Tuesday. What you are going to research. These are the 4 questions I want you to figure out when you are researching. Where, when, and how did they grow up? So did they grow up in Chicago? Did they grow up in the 1970s? Did they grow up around a lot of family? Did they not have a lot of family? You're really going to dive into their childhood. The second question is what genre do they compose or perform? So is this a classical artist? Is it a jazz artist? Is it a hip-hop artist? You're figuring out what genre they either composed, wrote music for, or what they perform. Next question, what makes their music unique? So these are all artists that are kind of like pioneers in their field, which means that they are pretty famous in whichever genre they're a part of. So why are they famous? What have they done that nobody did before them? Which ties into the last question, how are they remembered? All these artists have legacies, so it can either be like the most famous classical musician, that's their legacy, or they reinvented hip-hop. It's how they are remembered. When you are presenting, there are a few guidelines that you should abide by. The first one is it must be 2 to 5 minutes long. I'm going to be timing all presentations. If it's under 2 minutes or over 5 minutes, then you do not get this point. The second guideline is you must have a visual. You can have a physical visual that you show on screen when you're presenting, like you hold it up to the camera, or you can have a computer visual and I will give you access to share your screen while you're presenting. So this can be anything like a PowerPoint, a poster, a picture. It can be anything you want, any sort of visual so we can see who you're talking about or what you're talking about. The next guideline is you must answer all the research questions. So I should be able to answer all 4 of these questions after your presentation. The last guideline is to explain what you think influenced their music and why. So this is not really something that you're going to be researching. This is you taking your research and thinking critically about it. So if you researched an artist who grew up without a lot of family or without a lot of people around them, and they ended up being a blues singer, which is like a pretty sad genre where people really like talk about their problems in life. So if they have like a really sad childhood and then they become a blues singer, you can infer that their childhood influenced what type of music they produced because their childhood was lonely and sad, and so that translated into their music, wanting to get those feelings out. So something along those lines is what I'm looking for this 4th guideline. It's you taking what you know about the artist and thinking about how their life translates into their music. All right, so going back to the Google Classroom, we are going to go to the exit ticket here. And in the exit ticket, you have all the options of artists that you can choose from. Some of these you may know, some of these you may not know. If you do not know one of these artists and they sound kind of interesting to you, use this website to look up any artist that you don't know. So you can click on this link in your exit ticket. It's also linked under materials in the Google Classroom. There's a website called Fact Monster, and it'll just pull up quick facts on whoever you're researching. So if I don't know who the Beatles are, I would type in the Beatles. And then it pulls up a quick snippet about who the Beatles are. All right, so for the rest of class today, you are going through this list, figuring out who you think your first choice would be, who you want to research the absolute most. If nobody on this list appeals to you, like I said earlier, you can use this other option. Okay, so if I really want to research Justin Bieber, he's not on the list, but I want to research him, I'm going to type his name into the other box. The next question, it is optional, but if you are choosing if you're choosing your own artist that's not on this list, you must answer this question. Why is this artist your first choice? In this box, you are going to be defending why this artist should be on the list. So if I think that Justin Bieber, he innovated pop music. So if you think that he was pinnacle or he was very important for pop music, then that is going to be why you are picking this artist as your first choice. If you're choosing somebody who's on the list already, so if you want to choose Alicia Keys, she's already on the list, you don't have to answer this question, why is this artist your first choice? But if you think that this is a popular artist that other people might pick, I am going to choose the person who is defending why this artist is their first choice first. So if there are 6th graders who want to pick Alicia Keys, and 4 of them don't answer why they want to pick Alicia Keys, but 1 of them does, I am going to let the scholar who defended why Alicia Keys was their first choice, I'm going to pick them to research her rather than the 4 who did not answer this question. So I highly recommend answering this question, but again, you don't have to. The next question is, who is your absolute last choice? Who would you rather do anything in the world than research this person or this artist? I cannot promise that I will give you your first choice, but I can promise that I will not give you your last choice. If you don't vote at all, then I can't promise you anything. You're just going to get who you get. All right, so you're picking your first choice. You are explaining why that's your first choice if you choose to. And then you are picking your last choice. And you can explain why this artist is your last choice. And then you are submitting. All right, so please spend the rest of class figuring out who you would like to research the absolute most. Make sure to fill out your exit ticket, and we will start these projects next week. Enjoy!